It's time again for the Sim Racing 500. Welcome to the 2023 running of a full distance Indy 500. This year it's one day before the real Indy 500 and it's actually part of a championship. It's part of the American Monoposto Championship 2023, so it's similar to the real Indy 500. There are people here racing for a championship, but I'm here as a one-off driver once again in the number 34 Super Gazelle car. Just one teammate today. It is Kevin Peters, who's been race engineering a couple of my WMSC III races. He's in the fight for the championship. I think he's leading by a couple of points, so it's really important for him. So as well as I do, I want to just do my best to not get in his way. There are a couple of changes to be aware of, apart from the fact that it's now, May and part of a championship. But I also believe the mod of the cars has changed slightly. It's still based on 1998 turbocharged kart beasts, but I think they've been tweaked slightly because generally the cars are about a second to a second and a half quicker than last year. Last year I was around 8/10 off the fastest time. Here I'm anywhere between 3 and 5/10, which doesn't seem like a big gain, but when it's an oval, it could be a lot.
Let's win it all.
Yes.
If not, I'm crying.
So last year I finished 4th and only completed 198 laps because I was 2 laps down. So this year, at least 199 laps and maybe a podium. That would be a good target.
Or a win.
Or a win. Kevin's main rival today, among others, is Lorenzo Turi, who was the leader for large parts of the 2022 event before he tangled with a lapped car, which ended his race. So as you'd imagine, he'll be very determined to make amends, while Kevin is aiming for a second Sim Racing 500 win in a row. As is typical of an RSL event, there was a practice server open 1 to 2 weeks ahead of the event, then a final 20-minute practice session, which you can see now, 10-minute qualifying, which is a private session where you're alone on track, a final 10-minute warm-up, and then the 200-lap race. As the Sim Racing 500 is quite a long race, we're going to focus in this video on the highlights of qualifying and the race itself. So after being in the top 10 at the close of the practice server and 6th in final practice, I was aiming for top 10 in quali, which would be a hell of an improvement over the 21st I managed last year, practicing and working on setup with Kevin, resulting in some big gains.
Oh, good luck.
Yeah, good luck. Me and Kevin both muted ourselves, went off to just focus on qualifying. It's a short lap, so you get plenty of cracks at it in the 10-minute session, but obviously you want to focus. It's all fine margins. You just need to nail the 4 corners as best you can. I had originally got myself up into the top 5 earlier in the session, but then failed to improve as the session went on. With 30 seconds to go, this will be my last attempt to improve. Still looking a lot better though than starting outside the top 20 like I did last year. Now, don't know whether it's the change in the mod or working on the setup with Kevin, but this year I'm finding myself lifting off into the corners on entry a lot less. It's maybe only a blip if required. Getting right out to the wall on exit, I'm only 700ths down on pole after those first 2 turns, but you can see maybe didn't carry the best speed out of it because by the end of the straight it's up to 900ths of a second. Through turn 3 I go a little bit shallow in the angle here, should have got out to the wall a bit further just to help sweep through, but the all important thing is on the exit of turn 4 I'm up and I'm not losing time. It is going to be a minuscule improvement, but as mentioned, fine margins. Up at the front, a bit of drama.
User was moved out of your channel.
Oh my god. That's why they've been moved out. Oh my god. Incredible. Because Lorenzo set the time first, he would get moved into pole. Kevin second. I qualify 7th, just behind Lucas Hamilton. Very happy with my performance there. So here we go, another 200 laps of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. This start controlled by the game, all restarts controlled by race director Alexander Knežević. Will it be less carnage than last year? You can hope.
That's the green flag. Go, go, go.
Caution, caution, caution.
Clear left.
Takes really long.
Dear
Turn down
me.
the turbo boost.
Okay, got you. At least there were less casualties this time around. No matter. Let's try again.
Still there.
Green, green, green. Go, go, go,
Clear
go.
right.
There's going to be another caution straight away.
Right side. Watch your right. Hold your line. Clear. All clear.
Caution, caution, caution.
Oh man.
11 minutes in, 7 laps completed, second restart. Let's try again. Again.
Green, 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 green. Go, go, go.
Someone spun behind me? I did, yeah.
Yep, Max. Coming off the exit of turn 2, I've got the run on Davide Zanini, but just hesitate and miss out on an opportunity. However, I'm not too worried. I did say to myself, the first 100 laps, I'm not too bothered about getting into scraps. It's a long race. Just survive as young Jean has a big slide in front of us and holds on. Yeah, I don't mind losing out places or not fighting them too hard, as long as you can stay on the lead lap and stay in the hunt and be there at the end. That's all that matters, rather than put any risks. That being said,
Clear left.
that little run wide was just a needless loss of places. So yeah, don't take any risks, but also
To your left.
drive well.
All clear.
Oh, there's a crash.
Oh my god,
Car's
that was
slipping.
huge.
Yeah, that's a caution, for sure.
Caution, caution, caution.
I already turned down the turbo limiter after the crash.
20 minutes down, 13 laps completed, restart number 3. And unfortunately, this one, I need to catch up, I'm a bit behind, is a textbook example of how not to do one, as I'm too far back and then completely unprepared.
Green, green, green. Go, go, go.
Watch your right. Keep left. 3 wide. Clear left.
Start.
Car left. Clear.
Okay.
All clear. Watch your left.
And it's fair to say my
Clear.
starts and restarts were a bit of a weakness last year, but again, if I can just get into the flow quicker, stay on the back of people, it's still a long way to go. And hopefully, this time the race would stay green, at least for a little while.
Watch your right. On your right. Keep left. Clear right. All clear.
Upon reflection, a little bit timid there. I think I maybe should have gone for the move on Max. But again, in a couple of corners' time, a little bit of patience prevailing, as once again,
Car right. Clear.
get the place from other nonsense. Back in the top 10 and starting to reel in David Yunt and hopefully fight my way back up at least to where I started. And it seemed like we were finally off and running in earnest. We were finally underway. but that's exactly what the race wanted you to think.
Caution, caution,
Ah, okay.
caution.
Oh, for God's sake.
30 minutes in, 22 laps down. What, I've lost count of the restarts. It's another one, but this time at least, I was more prepared than last time.
Green, 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 green.
Clear left. Left side. All clear. Clear left. On your left. Left side. Keep right. Clear.
I mean, still shit, but at least more prepared. It's worth mentioning that during this caution, some of the leaders decided to go in and pit. I didn't, and Kevin didn't. He's still up at the front with Lorenzo, but from this point, the positions are going to start fluctuating and no one really knows because it's split strategies now, and it'll all get changed with more cautions as well, if there are any more. Who am I kidding? Of course there will be. So now, the guessing game of strategy is in the mix as well.
Right side. On your right. Keep left. Clear right.
Now, while it felt good to finally make an on-track pass and have it stick, it seemed like David was being clever. He was sitting in behind to fuel save. He was happy to sit in my slipstream. But there was no time to think about that because, of course, right on cue... Oh, don't...
Watch your right. All clear.
Caution, caution, caution.
You're joking. Not another one?
Me and Kevin used this opportunity to take our first pit stops, at which point Kevin realised he had a familiar problem.
Yeah, I have no force feedback, I would say, after a short leg.
You may remember that happened to us last year, except it was inverted force feedback and much later in the race. It was going to be a struggle for Kevin as we go again.
Green, green, green.
And your eyes don't deceive you, I did just gain a place off a restart. You may applaud now.
On your right. Car right.
It's
Clear.
weird without force feedback.
Right side. Clear right.
Yeah, it happened to me late in last year's. You just have to kind of grip the wheel a bit more. That's how I got through it.
Not much consolation though, admittedly. I still had some feeling of the car. Kevin's got none, and we're only about to start lap 37. Anyway, we survive again. Max Heyman ahead of us, clearly having some damage, running a little bit slow, so we look to get back into the top 10 as quickly as possible.
Car right. Car right. Clear right.
Santi's just slid and crashed into the pit lane.
Yeah.
Crashed car in the pit lane. Careful.
Thankfully, mercifully, it wasn't a caution. So, lap 44, up and past David Young, suspiciously easily, more on that in a second, but finally this was the first period of the race where it felt like we could go racing and there wasn't a danger of a caution. It was time to finally get into a rhythm of things. And David was doing exactly that. He was doing his old trick of sitting in behind me to get the slipstream and fuel save. So, when Cizelski caught us up at the start of lap 48, he was running a lap down, but suspiciously quick. I thought, well, okay, no problem, I'm not going to lose a place on the road, but I could also benefit from this. I can sit in the slipstream of Cizelski and fuel save as well. Chess at over 200 miles an hour.
Car left. Clear left.
As you can see, currently running in the top 5 because everyone's pit stops are just all over the place right now. It's all going to be about how it shakes out in those final few laps. Is the timing of your final stop optimal? And honestly, you've got to be constantly working out ahead of time, which I wasn't. I was just focusing on where I was there and then. An hour in, lap 60, only just over quarter distance, and David Yunt decides finally he's going to try and go. We've lost Cizelski, so I've lost the slipstream. Maybe he decides that I'm slowing him up too much now. We're coming to the end of our stint. I've only got 6 laps before I need to go in. I think we're, at this point, going into the stops at a similar time, so he wants to maybe not lose out. However, I had been running with the boost a little bit lower to save some fuel behind Cizelski, so I turned it back up just to make sure that David doesn't get too far away from me. And last year I always seemed to gain time in the stops for whatever reason. I always seemed like I'd come out closer after a round of stops. So I was hoping it'd be the same again this year. As you can see, sticking in behind, turning the boost again back down on the straights, just trying to manage the fuel, elongate the stint as long as I possibly could. But before I knew it, it was time to come in.
Yeah, I need to go in now.
I think mine might be... Or is it mine this lap? Next lap. Okay. Oh, I'm in for mine.
Okay. Yeah, I'm 11 seconds in front of Kativo, and he was 8 seconds in front of me before the stop.
As you can see, I'm pulling in from second. David staying out, taking the temporary lead of the race, and him going longer seemed to work better. Here's me just kind of pulling round as he's coming out of the stop, and the gap would settle at 12 seconds. For whatever reason, he'd been able to pull away from me in that round of stops.
Oh, it's working for you?
It's okay, I'm just in clear air at the minute, to be honest.
That's good. Same for me.
Gap down to 9 seconds now, so that's not too bad. Although I feel like he's just had to try and overtake someone, a back marker.
A few laps later, it was time for some all-important team coordination.
On this straight or on the next?
Let's go next, if that's alright with you.
Yeah, I have time. I will save fuel here.
Shall I stay on the racing line or move off?
Okay.
Okay. I won't move.
Thanks.
And just like that, I was off the lead lap for the first time. 79 laps in. Not too bad.
The flying German.
However, just 10 laps later, we'd almost uncomfortably see each other again.
Oh, well, there's no...
Oh.
Sorry. I was going to say, I'll let you back through in a sec.
Oh, it was Turi, but he's just behind.
You can come back past me on this main straight.
Yeah, I need to go before Turi's here.
Yeah.
No top speed.
I'm going to hold if you want to go.
Thanks. You can fight Turi. That's
I will try.
Full position.
Unfortunately, Lorenzo was at the end of a stint and light on fuel, so there was very little I could do.
Too fast.
He's incredibly fast.
Still there, clear.
I'm literally in the pit lane as we speak.
Nice. I nearly spun behind Turi.
Another pit stop down, coming up to the 90-minute mark and starting lap 100, approaching the halfway point at long last, running in 7th where I'd started. All things considered, I can be happy with that, and I'm still on the same lap as Soppen, Cizelski and Yunt, so looking forward and hoping to press on and maybe gain some more places. However, just as I was settling in for another long quiet stint, a little wake-up call. I've just driven over someone's wing, or someone's crashed. I've got a puncture as a result, I think.
Please don't crash too hard now.
I actually can't tell. I think I do. Yeah, I'm going to have to go in.
Yeah, there's the car. Oh man.
That's going to put me well out of sequence then. Despite there being no caution though for that incident, I was in 6th. Cizelski retiring at the same time, not sure if it was related to Clark's crash. I was also now in a proper no man's land. I was not on the same lap as anybody.
But he was spun behind me. Did he crash or only spun?
Okay, I'm coming up to the scene now.
Okay.
He's in the wall on the outside. Surely that's got to be a safety car.
Still alive?
He's still alive. I don't think he is. Caution.
Caution.
Yes.
Caution, caution, caution.
So I might get a lap back at least. So now just 1 lap behind the leaders. Not close enough to challenge, but if anything happened between them, I'd be there to pick up some scraps. Now, restarts from now on will be controlled by the leader of the race, just like they are on road courses. So Juho Soppinen leading us away, defining when to hit the accelerator hard. Basically, Alexander Knezovic had some issues, so couldn't call the restarts. So every restart now on, controlled by the leader. Lap 128, and my hopes of picking up another place to get in the top 5 showed a glimmer of hope. Juho Soppinen just coming out of the pits now, meaning I was going to be on the same lap. Now, I would have to stop in about 10 laps' time myself, but my hope was I might be close towards the end to maybe try and fight him for 5th. And as we come round turn 2 and onto the back straight, the gap, less than 4 seconds. So I was hopeful, but obviously out of sequence on the pit stops. And with just a few laps until I needed to stop, I found David Yunt doing his classic trick of sitting in behind someone, that person this time being Soppinen, to again get the slipstream and fuel save. But I was coming up on them quite quickly, so I had a decision to make. I mean, I've got 5 laps of fuel. I don't know whether it's worth fighting. Yeah, it's not worth fighting these two. Yeah, they're just going to lose time. I'm going in.
You cut the track. Okay, we'll be ready for you.
What followed was generally another very quiet stint as we sidled up casually to 3/4 race distance and lapping Jacob Clark. However, first and second, Kevin and Lorenzo, were bearing down on us.
Faster car approaching.
I'm right behind you with Jury.
I'm going to stay out of the way.
Blue flag.
Got Clark there as well, be careful.
Car right. All clear.
Yeah.
Blue flag.
Hopefully I'm done with Jury now.
Oh, Clark's just gone in, okay.
They're behind me.
Unfortunately unable to help provide a little bit of respite for Kevin there. Lap 160, and Juho had gone back to being a lap ahead of me after my stop, but then seemingly had 2 stops in quick succession for some reason, meaning, temporarily at least, I was in 5th. So Soppinen got in again.
Yeah.
That's a weird one. And keep an eye on the timing tower to the left and the dots on the map to the right, just underneath my silly little box, because as you can see, for whatever reason, Juho's stop clearly not just one for fuel and tyres again. He must have had an issue and needed damage repairing. So I'd gone from being a lap down on Yuho to being on the same lap to then being a lap ahead. Yes, I'd still have to stop, and I was still trying to fuel save a little bit so I could extend this stint so this next stop would be my last. And on lap 168, this was it. This would be the final stop to get me to the end. So I was keeping one eye on where Yuho would be. What would the gap be when we come out?
Watch for traffic as you exit the pit road. Faster car approaching.
And there he is. So, careful out the pit lane. Don't overdo it. Don't overdo it. And power down. In just 5 laps time, I was on the back of him. So, 173 laps in, finally, let's go wheel to wheel and have a bit of a dogfight.
Watch your left. Hold your line. All clear. Car left. Left side. Clear left. Car left. Watch your left. On your left. Watch your left. Keep right. Clear. On your left. All clear. Watch your right. Clear right. Car left. Clear. All clear. All clear. Clear.
Considering the timing of Yuho's last stop, I think he realised once I got clear of him that he needed to fuel save a bit to get to the end, so I was able to pull out a gap quite easily. Unfortunately for Yuho, it didn't get better for him from there. Oh.
Oh,
Caution.
oh, he's in the middle of the corner. What the
God, he seems to... the tyre marks are interesting, to say the least.
Come on, I cannot sit anymore. Give me P2, it's okay.
Yeah, I think this is running longer than last year's. I'm sure it was only like 2 hours and 40 something.
While under caution, having done most of the race without force feedback and done an incredible job, that lack of feeling in the car finally caught Kevin out.
Oh,
Oh no! Oh,
Oh.
no!
Oh my god. Okay, time to retire. What was that?
Fortunately, due to a loophole about not having to go at safety car speed on pit exit, Kevin only lost a place, and David Young also stopped in this time and ended up only in 4th. So all good.
Oh my god.
Please.
Again.
Is this just the lack of force feedback?
Yeah, I hope it. No, I have no feeling for the car.
So my goal at this restart was to let Kevin through as quickly as possible. There would be 8 racing laps to go when we go green. Kevin just needs to get past the lap cars, and hopefully he could still fight for the win with that top 4.
Car left.
Going on?
Right. Blue flag.
The restart
Scum.
or not?
Approaching. 3 wide. Still there. Still there. Clear.
And mercifully, Kevin clear and straight onto the back. For me, I just needed to stay calm. I didn't need to rush to try and get clear of Max and Jacob ahead of me. I was 4 laps ahead of the nearest contender, being Max. I just needed to keep my nose clean. Once I was clear of these guys, it would be a quiet run to the end. And hopefully I'd get a front row seat of the leading cars fight for the win.
Yeah, 170 laps without force feedback.
Left side. Clear left.
And I was clear. Just keep it on the road to the end. Lap 197, I can still just about see Kevin and David ahead fighting over 3rd place. I was, indeed, in nice clear air, but I was about to come across the line to put in my fastest lap of the race. It wasn't until very late on I got below a 40-second lap in the race. Here I do a 39.7, so yeah, good 1 lap pace, but clearly struggled consistently on the race pace. Anyway, I start lap 199, and being a lap down, it will be the final lap of the race, and I was indeed in the box seat to watch Kevin and David fight over the last podium spot.
That's the checkered flag.
Oh.
P3 at the end. 0.008 seconds in front of Yon.
Considering he did most of that race without force feedback, he did a great job.
Yeah, 170 laps. Yeah. After a little lag. Oh. Unbelievable.
Well, at least I got to 1 more lap than last year. Done
Nice.
199.
Yeah, P5 is
Fit.
good.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. That's good. It's a good result. That was tiring. More tiring in this heat. Okay, 1 place down on last year, but I feel like it was a slightly stronger field at the end. I think I was quicker this year overall. I think I worked really well. 7th to 5th, I can be really proud of. I've seen the checkered flag twice at like a full distance 500. I'm really happy with that. Thank you so much for watching. Once again, that was so much fun. I wouldn't do it every week, but it, you know, as a one-off special, that was so much fun. Next time I'm on track, it's another kind of faux oval, the outer loop of Argentina, in the F3 cars. Damn.